Our big guest this week played in the NFL from 2001 to 2015. He wore 10 different jerseys. Now he's made the transition to coaching at the University of Florida. Shayne Graham joins us from Gainesville. Shayne, what's more fun, kicking one through the uprights or seeing one of your guys nail one from like 45 yards?
I believe the easiest amount of stress is actually kicking it yourself when you don't have any control over it in the moment. I think that makes it a little more stressful. But, that's why I got into coaching, was just to have that type of stress and, risk reward type competitive feeling that I enjoyed as a player. I needed to have that. And I think that, when I became a coach, that kind of made it something that made me glad that I'd gotten into it.
In week 2, we saw Harrison Butker of the Chiefs hit a 53-yarder. Flag was thrown, so then he had to kick it from 58 yards. He made it, but they called timeout, so he had to kick it a third time, and he drilled it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult was that?
That might be up there on top of anything, and I guess the only thing I could truly say might be harder would be a 70-mile-per-hour blizzard or something like that. But that situation, you've got to tip your hat to that guy, because, not only is he hitting solid balls that travel that far 3 times in a row, but he's, the farther back you go, the more margin for error, that angle sharpens down. So, that's impressive, really is impressive.
Shayne, did you ever get upset when an opposing coach would try to ice you? Does that really work?
No, it doesn't. Really what that does is it gives you a chance to kind of relax, to be honest with you. I think it's one of the most overrated moves in coaching there is. To be honest with you, it gives you a chance to relax, get your adrenaline, your heart rate, all those things that you might feel in the moment, kind of under control, because really at that level, you've learned how to think yourself through your process. So you don't really see it as, we're going to freeze him, so he's going to think about it a little bit. It really doesn't come into play. You can make it or miss it, whether you do that or not. And I'd be willing to argue that because it's been done so many times, you're almost expecting it. Mm-hmm. And when you don't do it, you almost catch a kicker off guard because he's thinking you're going to call a timeout.
How do you deal? I mean, you made about 85% of your kicks. How did you deal with that hero or GOAT pressure that comes with that job?
That's why you do it. That's that feeling that's addicting to have. And it's that, that sinking feeling that you might get from a miss, which we've all had. I mean, even the best in the world have had that happen to them. And, being at that level, the highest level you can be at, you have to accept that from day one. So you basically have to throw fear out the window. If you go into a situation like that and you're thinking, I've got to do this not to miss, then you've already created doubt. You've already created fear. And when you put those thoughts of fear into your head, you're basically wishing versus controlling. So if you create a process and you obsess in that process in that moment, then your process is what you're going to live in, and then the result is going to happen afterwards. So if you're worrying about the result before the process, then you're already kind of tipping the scales away from your favor. So really the best thing to do is you have to know that if you miss, it's going to be okay and life goes on. Because if all you're worried about is, oh my God, I can't miss, it'll suck, they'll kill me on Twitter, I'll get booed, I'll get people heckling me at restaurants. Like, if you think those things, then you just can't do it.